Hi there, everybody. I am ready to start a new project. Seems like it's been forever since I had a new project. And you know, I was thinking, I want something for me. I want I call them a table quilt, but it's just a small. I have two end tables. One is round and one is kind of square. And the square one is probably 25 by 25. It's a pretty big table. Anyway, I want a fall one for the fall, which is too late now, but I'll have it for next year, and a Christmas one. And I never sew for myself, so that's what I'm gonna do. Now, I wanna ask you a question. Do you make up something, think of something that you want because of a pattern you have? Or do you have some fabrics you just really want to use in something? What do you start with? I never know what I'm gonna start with. And sometimes it is a pattern and I wanna do it. But today it is fabrics. I found some, and I'll put the camera down in just a second. I found some for the fall that I really do like, and I'll just show you what I'm working with. These are my fall assortment that I have picked out. You know, I'm not a blue fan, even though I've got blue on. I love, this was my inspiration, are these three pieces, especially these two. I just, I really like these. I've had them for quite some time and don't really remember. I think I belonged to some kind of little club and you got fat quarters every 3 months or something, and this was part of it. But I really like that for the fall, and I really like the blue. I think that's such a pretty shade of blue. Well, I had a stack. I bet you've got in your stash a stack of, I've got 4.5 inch, I've got 5 inch charm packs, I've got even 6 inches. Got a little bit of everything, and I was just going through it and seeing what I could pick to go with it. And this is the pattern. I showed you this book before, and we've made a quilt out of here, a little baby quilt. And this can be purchased at www.leisurearts.com. And when you get this little booklet, it's called 3 Times the Charm. And there are 7 patterns in here. 7 different little quilts. They range from in the 40 inches to mine is only 19 3/4 by 19 3/4. So they range anywhere from the 19 up to the 40s. The name of this particular one is the very first one, and it's called Amanda. And you know, this is a 19 3/4 is going to fit either one of my end tables just perfect. Just be a little added something to put on my table instead of a crochet doily, or you know, just having the wood show. What I was thinking is, if you wanted to make this into a quilt, you could put 4 of them together, 4 blocks, and put you a 2.5-inch sashing in between, and you would have almost a 40 some odd inch little baby quilt if you want to do that. You might love these colors. Isn't it bright and cheery? And mine's not going to look anything like this. Well, I went looking, like I said, in my stash, and this, I don't know how it's going to work. It has a lot of orange in it, but I think I'm going to use it anyway because I think it can be fussy cut and make cute squares. I'm going to try to use it. See, because I don't know what else to do with it, so I think I'm going to use it. And what I'm going to do, you can see that you have 9 predominant bigger squares. And I'm going to use 3 of each. I'm going to use these from these squares. They are 3.5 inches, I believe. 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to use those. So I'm not going to have it as scrappy as this is what I'm saying. And then I'm going to build around it with all of these other colors. And I've kind of, if you'll note, kind of gone to leaves. That's not really leaves. I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm leaning towards. Those are leaves. This is paisley, but it's got leaves also. Isn't that pretty? I'd love that. And I like this one too. I think that's really pretty. And I think they're very rich colors, and it'll look really nice. These, and then these are just individual little 5-inch squares. What you need for this little thing is 28 assorted 5-inch squares. Now, you could have them all different. If you had a charm pack, you wanted to use that, you could have them all different. Mine will basically not be all different, because if I have these, 3 of each of these, this is predominantly what you'll see, I think, in mine. But I had fun putting this all together. I think, and see, I even drew out some blue because these 2 blues are just a perfect match. Just goes so good. I know you can't. There, it's a better. Isn't that a beautiful piece of fabric? I've loved it ever since I've had it a couple of years. But I really, really like it. Just never knew what to do with it. But I think this is going to just make a beautiful centerpiece. It could be for my table, my kitchen dining table. However I choose to use it. This, it isn't cotton, but I think of cotton when I see it. I think it looks like cotton. Isn't that going to be pretty? Can't wait to cut it out. Now, next week, I'm going to have all of the fall one cut out. And then on my video next week, we'll cut out the Christmas one. Okay, let me show you real fast the Christmas. You're going to think, that is not very Christmas to me. But you know, I don't want just red and green just staring me in the face. I want something that I could even put out in November. Well, it's got a few Christmas trees on it, so I don't know how soon in November I can do that. But that's my fall one that we're gonna make. Now, my inspiration piece for this was this little pack. I bought this in Fredericksburg, Texas in July when I was down there to see my sister. That's where she lives. And at this quilt shop, I was trying to decide what I could get. I had to have this assortment. I just had to have it. And if you'll note, it's not Christmas, but yet it is. It's kind of strange. Now this really reminds me of your bowls of cotton that you see out in the fields here where I live. We used to have a lot of cotton around. We don't much anymore. You have to drive about an hour and a half to start seeing the cotton fields. But I love this piece, and that reminds me of holly berries. So let's put that out and see what else is in that little packet. This is just an assortment, and that's a funny shade of green. It matches that though. And then look, this is the only thing Christmas. It has little wreaths on it with a little bow. That. And this is holly berries. And that background is kind of a muddy gray. It's an odd color, but now what do you think I come up with it? You can see I have this red here. And the only reason that I did pick this up is because this can be my backing and also my binding. But if I want to use a little sprinkled here, there, and everywhere, I could use this because this green and these Christmas trees are exactly the same. And it blends in really pretty. Now, you're going to think I've lost my mind, but the rest of it, I kind of went to the gray. This funny looking gray. It's a taupe, I guess. But this is a greenish gray. On the camera, it looks more green. But in real life, but you see these leaves right here and right here? It's exactly matches. So I'm going with this funny color. I think it will just work out fine. So we've got this so far. And then I had this little piece. I don't have a whole lot of it, but I think it's enough. It's just got writing on it and little tiny leaves, holly berries. And I thought that would bring out the neutral color. So I'm going to use that. And then I have just a tiny little piece of this, but I want to use it. And it's called Holly Berry Tree Farm. And I probably won't see it's directional, so it's going to have to be on my borders. See the little border? It'll have to be on the sides, and I'll always know which direction it goes so I think that's how I'll have to use it. Unless I decide to make one of my squares this, who knows? Who knows? And then, you see this has a gray bucket and it has a gray snowflake. And that picks up on all the others. So I had this tiny little piece, and it can be some of my borders. It works very well, believe it or not, with, let's see where I can put this. And this kind of works with the, well, it just works with all of it. It really does. You don't think of grays being for Christmas, but I don't, like I said, I don't want it to be your old typical red and green. Then I had this little piece, and I'm gonna see what I can come out. I can't do much with it, but that's 1 5-inch square, and then I can cut it, subcut it, however. So there is my Christmas. Isn't that just gonna be, I think it's gonna be so pretty. Different, but isn't that what quilting's all about? Doing your own thing, creating your own creation. So, I hope you'll join me next week. You know, this little 19-inch piece here can be done in no time. That's why if you want to make something bigger, you sure could do it. But I think this will be my binding and my backing for sure. I've got plenty of it. It's enough. So I think that's what I'll do. Well, in the comments, you know, you can always comment on my choices. You know, the other day, I have the most precious viewers. You're all just so special to me. But I got my first negative comment. It just stabbed me in the heart. And then I laughed and I thought, well, we're all different. You know, so be it. You know, it really didn't bother me, but it kind of surprised me because you've always, all of you are so sweet to me, and I appreciate it so much because I'm not an expert and I don't propose to be one. I'm learning every day when it comes to quilting. Something new every day. That's my motto, is do something new and different. Learn something you didn't know before. So anyway, this lady's comment was kind of floored me. But like I say, to each his own. We're all different, aren't we? So, but you let me know if you like my comment, or if you see one that you don't think really you like with it. Well, it won't hurt my feelings because I'm gonna make it the way I want to anyway. But I would be interested to know if you like my combination. So, God bless you, and I'm so glad that I'm well again and life is good, and I'm just so glad to be with you again. So join me next week, okay? And we'll, probably next weekend, and we'll get busy and see if we can make this a little block in no time. God bless you. Take care.